Hey there, how are you all doing? Hope you are well. I wanted to film a video today for the people who are going through awakening experiences, particularly related to non-dual recognitions or non-dual awareness. Maybe you've been listening to non-duality for X amount of years, or you've just been feeling like super depressed or stuck, not really sure why the energy's not moving through you, and you're starting to ask questions like, why am I not awake yet? Why do I still feel separate? How much longer is this gonna take? And I wanted to kind of chisel away at these different questions because in a way it's pretty easy to invalidate them through non-duality and just assign them to the story of the personal self, of the me, the world of the me. But in another way, I find it to be very helpful to understand and realize what it is actually that's going on. Okay, so when we go through a profound shift in consciousness like non-dual awareness, okay, and there are many, here we're talking about kind of that void, that incubating void of all that is, that no thing aspect of who you are. And when that starts to reveal itself, or when it starts to kind of permeate the life of the person, of the me energy, of the story, it kind of clashes. If you've noticed, if you've been on this path for a while, you notice like it kind of clashes, like it doesn't really match up to how reality is presenting itself, because reality is dualistic. And so you're coming at it from non-dualism, and yet you're seeing all these polarized energies battling it out, right? And you're becoming more conscious of that. It's becoming more clear that this is how, the things are structured here in consciousness. It's structured in polarities. So the specific thing that I want to talk about today is how to reintegrate back as that energy, okay, how that energy is reintegrating back. And obviously it's different for every person, drastically different, because it's a unique individual principle of your own being, of your own aliveness, of your own conscious principle of daily living. But that stuck, depressed energy, which I'm very familiar with, often is a result of kind of like, let's the image I get is kind of like a cork, a plug in a bottle that has all this pressure in it, that it's like ready to explode, like a champagne bottle, right? There's just all this energy, all this potent energy, of all that is incubating in this container of what is your physical body, right? Yet there's this cork, right? And it's trying so hard to push up and push out and express and freely move, but yet there's this like stuckness there, right? So really this is kind of the dark night of the soul, or the decaying energy, right? Anubis, the god of decay. And it's an archetypal energy of destruction and death, and also rebirth. Okay, it's very metaphorical and mystical. But at the core of what's happening, and I've looked at this from many different levels, and the psychological level becomes a core focus point in the stuck corkscrew kind of metaphor that I'm getting, because what happens is that you have all these addictive tendencies. It's very important to hear what I'm saying. You have addictive tendencies. We all have it. We have these places in our lives where we funnel in our fear into these formations, coffee addictions, codependencies in relationships, on environments, that are abusive, potentially even violent, on these behaviors that we know are harmful, not even to ourselves, but to others. And these things, like this energy of this awakening, or of this consciousness, it really pushes you out into those really uncomfortable, icky areas, right? And they'll start to decompose, but then eventually what they want to do is they want to clear, right? You're actually going to have to let go of all the places in your life where you're in bondage, Okay, this is where the conscious principle of awakening comes into play. Like, you actually have to, as the conscious principle of the void, you actually have to decide that who you are is worth letting go of all these things. That it's worth it, that you can trust your presence and your love and your being enough to release all the things that you're still clinging to, like deeply, deeply clinging to. And I'm not talking to just like, simple little addictions. I'm talking to those parts of us that feel like we can't breathe if we don't have this thing, like if I don't leave this environment, if I don't change this thing about my life, like I will literally perish. Like those deep fears, those are the path of liberation. That's where you bring that torch of truth, the torch of who you are, and you light up those dark places with that. And I'm not saying you have to make a drastic decision, that you have to, do something that maybe you're not equipped on a financial or a mental or an emotional level to do. But what you have to do is become aware of those pressure points, because they're going to start permeating your awareness anyway. And it's going to become very intense if you don't open your eyes. Okay? So that's my message for you today. It's a quick, 7-minute video, but it's a long time on this path, for me to come out and make some of these short little messages. It's years of really, really walking this thing, consciously. And I know you're doing that too. Otherwise, we wouldn't be chatting here. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting, and much love to you for the week. See you soon.